So, Gret, I decided to do a little bit something different for this morning. You cool with that?
Sure.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God.
What do you think of this?
We're back in the roaring 20s.
Well, I mean, this kind of gets you going in the morning, right? I mean, like, I'm thinking lemonade. I'm thinking sunshiny weather. I'm thinking about coming home to a beautiful wife. I mean,
Yeah.
Is that what you're thinking?
I'm thinking I'm getting lulled to sleep.
Okay, so what I'm thinking about is some guy in a suit and tie, really sharp, carrying a briefcase out, his wife in one of those like mint green dresses.
Yeah.
Meeting him at the door, wishing him a happy day.
With his Charlie Chaplin mustache.
Yes,
and,
yes. And okay, the kid's driving by that morning. He's throwing the newspaper on the steps. I see a bunch of 1950s cars coming through.
Oh, now I'm liking your vision.
Yes, it's all beautiful, beautiful. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Why? Because it's March 25th.
Oh, yeah. There you go. We're almost to the end of the month.
Well, it's kind of a couple important days today.
Yeah.
Okay. Today, let's talk about some dumb things that we believe because what we saw in pop culture about the mob.
Oh.
Or mafia.
Yeah.
Like, have you ever, how do they say mafia? I mean, shouldn't it be mafia?
Mafia.
You know, it could be a new word spelled the same.
Yeah. Could be.
Smartphone addiction is leading to brain rot, according to doctors. This is a CBS special.
Yeah.
Kennedy praises cell phone bans in schools, citing mix of science and misinformation. We'll talk about it.
We'll talk about it.
Okay. Awesome Netflix documentary about the Joplin tornado. Pretty good. I don't know if you've seen it.
I haven't yet.
We're going to have a little sports today. We're going to talk about Shelby Houlihan. She earned a silver medal in her return to the big stage after a 4-year burrito ban.
Oh, wow.
You know, so, I mean, hey. And then I thought we should talk about the Pentagon's, mix up the DEI purge, I guess the officials described it as a scramble to remove and then restore online content. That's exactly the way,
Yeah.
See, by this time in this part of the show, I can imagine all the factory workers with their suit and ties showing up, getting out of their 50s cars, shutting off the radio with a big smile on their face, happy to go to work. Because back then, one person could work. You could take 2 vacations a year. You could pay for a car. You could pay for your home.
And a candy bar was a nickel.
The roaring 20s.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, there was a depression back then.
I'm sure.
So if you could pick any time to go back and live, what would it be?
Oh, it'd be way before that. It'd be the Old West.
Oh, well, you got to stay in the 20th century.
Oh, geez. Probably the 60s. The 60s. The 1960s.
Okay, so you're going Janis Joplin.
Yeah, I'm going with that era.
Early 60s, like JFK, or were we talking late 60s, Led Zeppelin?
We're talking JFK early. Then.
Oh, you're going early 60s?
Yeah.
Okay, what makes you pick the early 60s? Because all the hot, good cars came out 65 and later.
Well, we know, but like you just mentioned, Kennedy, who was one of my favorites.
Okay.
Not from studying history. He's been one of my favorites. And
nothing wrong with JFK.
No.
I'm not going to argue with that.
No.
I would say...
and yeah, you're right. The cars didn't come till the late 60s.
See, there was... I watch all this JFK file stuff, and I'm, like Michael Francis and the rest of those guys.
Yeah.
Pretty much what they released is stuff that we already knew. There's just some more names. And now we have a bunch of attorneys that are suing National Archives for releasing that. Did you hear about that?
I did not hear about that, but it doesn't surprise me.
I mean, come on, people. I mean, you either want it or you don't want it. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Exactly.
It's, it is what it is.
Why
but
it sounds like a cover-up when they do that.
It's Tolkien Reading Day. Do you like J.J. Tolkien?
Yeah.
Okay, well, it's his day. It's National Lobster Newburg Day.
Okay.
See, I'm kind of a lobster fan. You like lobster?
I'm not a big lobster fan. No.
How come? You do like shrimp, though, right?
No.
You do like scallops?
Yeah.
Okay, so, I mean, some people say that lobsters like scallops are the poor man's lobster, I should say.
Yeah.
Yeah. When have you tried lobster?
A long time ago.
Yeah, maybe your taste buds have changed. Just maybe. I'm not saying, but maybe.
Yeah, I was probably a kid.
It's National Medal of Honor Day, which I think is a wonderful day. You know what the requirements? I mean, there is a lot of them, and very, very, very few people get the Medal of Honor.
Very few.
We literally I think it was like 6 months ago, we had somebody post 75 years get the Medal of Honor.
Wow.
And that happens more than somebody that's living getting the Medal of Honor. Do you know that?
I did not know that.
Yeah, war archives, they start going through them and, learning and, yeah, anyways. If they weren't around, and I'm talking about our military,
yeah,
what would we do?
We'd be in trouble as a nation.
Well,
because they guard everything.
Right.
Safety.
We have the freedoms to do the things that we want because of them.
We have freedom to take one step each day because of them.
Man, I'm telling you. Say. Yeah, it's
when you look at in a small compact, really we're lucky.
Right. If you could pick one group of people that I really don't care if they listen to our show or not,
right,
it would be the
anti-American.
Well, it'd be the anti-American, but it would be the anti-veterans.
Yeah.
Have you met those people?
I have. It's sickening.
You know what?
Be that way toward veterans.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and the veterans will sit right there and say, I fought for them to be able to say that, so it's okay.
Exactly, and they would too.
But to me, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah. So, anyways, National Medal of Honor Day, March 25th. It's also American Diabetes Association Alert Day.
Yeah.
Everybody, diabetes is like affecting a lot of people. How many people do you know that are, if they're not diabetic, they're not pre-diabetic?
Almost everybody's either pre-diabetic or diabetic.
It's because of the crap that we eat.
Yeah.
Literally. I mean, the science has proven over and over and over and over, it is what it is.
Right. Knock on wood, I haven't been pre-diabetic yet.
Not yet.
Like I said,
That's the doctor calling.
Right? I hope not. I just recently got that checkup from the neck up. And I said I was in perfect fit condition from a 52-year-old.
So when do you got to go in for the exploratory again?
Oh, gosh, I got 12 more years because they said everything looks good.
Then that you'd call between the knees and the hips, right?
Yeah.
And it's exploratory. Is that invasive?
I guess I would say it is.
Invasive exploratory surgery.
It's got to be when they take a camera.
Yeah, no, I'm not making fun of you. I'm just making fun of you because guys got to make fun of you about that kind of stuff, even though we all got to have it done.
Oh, I know exactly.
You know what I mean?
And I trust me, I used to be in that boat too.
Yeah, it's just
the way it is.
It's also National Equal Pay Day. This is men versus women, and I'm all for that. It's equal pay for equal work.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Have you ever been at a job where a girl was better than you at your job?
Yeah.
So have I.
I have.
And
I'm not ashamed to say it.
No, I mean, they should be paid more than I was because they were doing more work than I was, if you know what I'm saying.
That too. Yeah.
I mean, just, I don't know why.
Let's put it this way. Their job entailed more work than my job did.
Well, does anybody, okay, if I walked up to, maybe we should do this. Maybe we should go shoot a video. Maybe we should go to the mall and we should just ask a question like, do you have a problem with equal pay?
Right.
Do you think that we would find anybody, even one soul, that would say, yeah, I have a problem with equal pay?
I'd be surprised.
What we would get is stuff like, well, at work, they're just easier on the girls than they are on the guys. That's what we would get.
From the younger generation, I bet.
Yeah,
More
probably.
Than the older.
The older generation, that was just, okay, I'm telling you right now, that part is true. I've worked in factories before where there'll be a good-looking gal, and she comes in there, and the bosses go flirt with her and things like that, and she'll be on the end of a line, and there'll be a guy right now. The guy gets yelled at if he quits working, but if the girl wants to go flirt with the boss, that's okay.
I've seen it.
I've seen it.
Man, I've seen that too.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is.
It is.
So, I mean, but I don't know anybody, not one person, that would say that equal pay for equal work is not good.
Right.
Now some people say that they should actually, talking about females, that they should actually get more per hour because they take the time out of their life to go have kids, and therefore they should make more per hour to, but to further the human race. But what I'm saying is, I think that that's a choice.
I think so too. Yep, you have the choice whether you want to get pregnant or not.
Right, and what I really like my son-in-law, when my daughter and him had the baby, he actually got to take 2 weeks off. I mean, that wasn't around when I was, working in factories. You know what I mean? Like, you went to work and, the day that your wife had the baby, if there's no complications, you went to there, and then the next day you were at work.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So
I could have done that when my son was born.
Really?
But I chose to only take off work the day that she was ready to go.
Really?
Because I knew we needed money, and I knew being off for 2 weeks was not going to help.
Okay, so we've got this here. We've got RFK Jr.
Yes.
Praises cell phone bans in schools, citing a mix of science and misinformation. So this is MSLSD.
Yeah.
Okay, but it says Kennedy pointed to evidence-based links between social media use and depression, but shared an unfounded claim that cell phones increase cancer risk. And I think that, do you remember the show, Thank You for Smoking?
Yeah.
At the very end of the show, I mean, came out how many years ago?
A long time ago.
And they made the joke about, when he was talking to the lobbyist for the cell phone agency, and he's like, now repeat after me. There is no clinical scientific study that shows a link between cell phone usage and cancer. And then he smiles.
Yeah.
Okay, kind of like he was saying that it's okay to smoke, it doesn't cause cancer. You know what I mean? This has been around forever. So for RFK to say that there isn't a link, I mean, have you seen that whole thing about the little metal they put the phone in between, it rings? Yeah. Have you seen that?
I have.
You can't tell me that doesn't do something to us.
Oh, it has to.
You know what I mean? You can't. So, again, you got the science people at NBC saying that. Now, it was funny because CBS, that article was put out there, and then CBS Evening News put this article out. Smartphone addiction is leading to brain rot, according to doctors.
That contradicts the last one a little bit.
Well, is this CBS versus
NBC?
Yeah, is it?
Pretty much.
Okay. So I thought they were friends.
Yeah. So much for friendly fire, huh?
Well, it says Katie Page Rosenberg, a freshman at the University of North Carolina, Asheville, recently realized what too much scrolling on her phone was doing to her. She estimates she was probably spending about 9 hours per day on her phone. I was just kind of constantly on it, Rosenberg said. I wasn't able to focus because I would have to take out my phone every couple of minutes. Stories like hers are familiar, but now it is possible to see the science behind it, according to Dr. Brent Nelson, a psychiatrist and chief medical information officer for the Southern California-based Newport Healthcare, which operates mental health treatment centers for teens nationwide. Smartphones have wide-reaching changes all over the brain, according to Nelson. He showed CBS News MRI images. This is MRI images.
Right.
Okay, so a real thing. From a 2021 study in Korea that showed major increases in brain activity, the negative effects of smartphone addiction. This is showing where the brain is working extra hard compared to a non-addicted brain when asked to do actually a very simple task, according to Nelson. In the study, the MRI images of an addicted smartphone user's brain were so colorful, meaning so active, it made them less attentive and more easily distracted. That is now informally in the medical community called brain rot. Let's take school, for example. Nelson said of how brain rot can manifest. You're sitting in class and you're trying to focus. They're going to be looking around, not attending to what the teacher is trying to teach them. Nelson says emerging research points to even greater health risks. We're just starting to see these changes, and we know they're connected to behavioral changes, depression, and anxiety. The dangers are hiding in there. Rosenberg agrees with that assessment. Social media had really influenced me in a lot of ways, Rosenberg said. TikTok would kind of push these videos of people popping an edible before school. And I was like, if I do this, maybe I'll be cool and I'll start self-medicating. To deal with that last year, she checked into a treatment facility. She believes that if she had not gone to treatment, I don't think I'd be here. It was really bad. You know what that means?
Yes.
So it says Rosenberg had to give up her phone in treatment. There, the Gen Zer found other outlets from drawing to playing guitar that helped rewire her brain. The key, perhaps, were analog anecdotes reminiscent of other generations. Playing in the dirt, drinking from the hose, sort of a Gen X mentality, is shown to actually allow folks to recover, to feel better, and make it easier to go about their day. Okay. We have clinical information from a doctor. We have MRIs that's showing that brain rot or smartphone addiction is leading to brain rot.
That's the radiation from the phone, I believe.
Is it the radiation, or is it overstimulation, or is it a bunch of the above?
I think it's the radiation.
Well, I mean, I think it's everything.
But radiation is very bad for your body.
I mean, okay, so I go back and I think, and I don't want to sound like a boomer because I'm not a boomer. I'm a Gen Xer.
Right.
But when I think about the way we used to think about things, the way we used to process things, the way that we used to be like, you know, you drive out, like walk out into a field and look up and you see the stars and you'd just be amazed at how cool that was. And you'd take a minute.
Yeah.
How often do you do that if you got the cell phone in your hand?
Very seldom, unless you're taking pictures of the sky at night.
Right. Or you're coming home from work and your team's playing that night, but you couldn't watch it because you're at work, right?
Right.
And now you're driving home and you got the cell phone flipped out. You know, either, you know.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's me.
I think that cell phones are ruining a generation of kids. I mean, here we have the facts behind the medical problem, right?
Yep.
But on the other side of that, we have Kennedy praising cell phones being out of school. Now, I agree with that to a point, okay? But we can't teach our kids to live in a world that we grew up in because that world doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, it should exist, but it doesn't anymore.
It doesn't. So you have to have them prepared for the world that they're going to be living in, not the world that we lived in. So how do you draw that medium?
You have to draw a line down the middle. Like you saying, you know, because in order to be fair to the kid, you'd have to.
Well, I mean, we want the best for our country. We want the best for our families.
Yep. Especially our kids.
I've mentioned it on the show before that one of the dumbest things that I remember my teacher saying now is, who's going to carry a calculator around in their pocket?
Exactly.
Yeah, everybody does now.
Yeah.
So, okay, we're not using chalkboards anymore.
No.
So where is that medium where we got to teach kids this, but they also have to learn about the new technology, because the new technology and AI and all of those things are driving everything forward at warp speed. So how do we, and I agree with him, especially we're noticing a lot more behavioral issues with kids.
Yeah.
Probably from the brain rot.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. How do we measure that and then fix and correct what we've caused already? How do we fix that?
Well, we gotta diagnose the problem first.
That sounds a lot easier than I think it's going to be.
I think it does.
You know what I'm saying?
Because the problem is we've already, like you said, have taught a generation that, hey, this is how life goes.
Well, I think a lot of it's that. And I think that that's a big problem. I think that kids today, they live a lot of life through their phone instead of actually going out and living life.
Yeah.
Right?
Going out and doing things like we used to do, you know, like walking or just playing outside as a kid.
Right. Well, you know, it is what it is. But it's something that we're talking about to help you think about, you know, talking about, right?
Well, yeah, most certainly.
I mean, you know, it is what it is.
Yeah. It's a real tough subject.
So, we were talking about the runner, right?
Yeah.
Shelby Houlihan.
Yeah.
She earned a silver medal in return to big stage after 4-year burrito ban. Now, you'd think this would be a health story, right?
Right.
Okay. The 32-year-old runner, who is the U.S. record holder in the 1,500 meter and the former record holder in the 5,000, won a silver medal in the 3,000 meter at the World Indoor Championships on Saturday. However, she said, "How did you do it?" She had a burrito ban.
Huh.
What do you think of that?
Well, it's whatever she could do to push herself, I guess.
Well, here's the thing. Okay, why did she loves burritos. It's her favorite food.
Right.
You want to know why she did it? This is to show you how bad our food is. Okay?
Okay.
She had to sit out during the Paris Olympics because she tested positive for performance-enhancing drug nandrolone during the lead-up to the Olympic trials in 2021.
Oh, wow. So it's in burrito.
So she was rejected by the Court of Arbitration for the sport. So she hired some doctors and stuff to go find where it came from. Where do you think it came from?
The burrito.
That's right. It was in tainted pork from a burrito that she had been buying for years from a Mexican food truck.
Oh, boy.
So this performance-enhancing drug nandrolone
Yeah.
was also a drug that they gave the pork to grow faster. So what do you think of that?
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
I feel bad for the girl. She said she was devastated, lost, broken, angry, confused, and betrayed. I feel bad for her.
I do, too. I mean, dang.
I mean, that probably cost her a lot of money.
Oh,
but
I'm
she
sure.
did test positive.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? And then you don't know where it came from. You hear that story so much in professional sports, don't you think?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. So, did you get a chance to see that Netflix documentary?
I haven't got to see it yet. I want to, though.
I'm telling you, you got to go check that out. And it is just, I mean, get some tissues.
Really? That bad?
Yeah, I mean, it shows, I mean, there's a lot of people that were there that went through this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know this, but they were actually graduating. As soon as the graduation was done, they went home. And I think it was they lost 7 kids out of that graduating class to that tornado.
Oh, my goodness.
Did you ever even hear about that?
No.
I mean, I heard about the tornado.
Yeah, but never heard that. I don't remember.
This is when I was still in the Badger State. And my father and my brother and my sister, they were younger. They all came down to help. I mean, just complete devastation. And Netflix, I mean, it's kind of hit or miss with Netflix. You never know if their documentaries are going to be really good or really bad because it seems like there's nothing in between.
This one was really good then.
Really, really good. I mean, it was very, very good. I mean, super sad. It tells about the whole thing, why it happened, and then individual stories. And if you get a chance, go check it out. It really did show the horror of the Joplin tornado.
I definitely want to check it out.
It's great. I mean, some people will probably have a hard time,
Yeah.
seeing it.
Oh, I'm sure the people that lived through it.
Right. But I highly, highly, highly recommend it. And then finally for today, I got to ask you. So Jackie Robinson Day was the other day.
Yeah.
Okay. And the Pentagon had taken down because Jackie Robinson was a veteran.
Yeah.
Okay. And in the scramble of getting all this stuff done, the DEI purge, which I believe the DEI purge needed to happen.
Yeah.
Jackie Robinson's story, among others, came down before it went back up. The media latched onto it and said, our government's getting rid of, black veterans. That wasn't the case at all. They were trying to do away with the nanny boo-boo nonsense, transgenderism stuff, but they had to take everything down and then put stuff back up. I want your take on that because Jackie Robinson, I know, is important to you just like he is to me.
Oh, yeah.
Now, with this DEI purge, it needed to happen, folks. It really needed to happen.
I agree, but
it hurt a lot of people.
Yeah. I don't think they should have took Jackie's stuff down.
Well, see, the way that the systems worked is it wasn't that they could just pick this one and pick this one and pick this one and pick this one because it was like in a template.
Oh.
So they had to take the whole template down,
Okay.
extract the information, and then put just that information up in a different template.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't like, well, we're going to take his stuff down. It was,
They took all the stuff down.
right, we've got 10,000 pages of templates, so we got to take all of them down to search through. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it really sucks, and I'm not saying that it wasn't bad.
Right.
But what I'm saying is if you actually find out, this is a media sensation. This is the media maggots working against the people, trying to get the people fired up, trying to use this like an incinerator to hurt the current administration.
Media warfare.
Well, I mean, that's exactly what it is, isn't it?
Yep. Exactly what it is.
So, anyways, happy 25th of March.
Yes.
We love you guys.
We love y'all.
Get home, get some sleep, because hump day is going to be
Just a day away.
Yeah, it's going to be a wonderful day tomorrow.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
Sunny skies.
Wonderful week.
Yeah, beautiful. Beautiful.
I'm telling you.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, we love you. Thank you for listening to Morning Crankers. If you want to send us an email, morningcrankers@gmail.com. That's morningcrankers@gmail.com. If you want to check out the website, go to morningcrankers.com.
Yes. And then,
hey, if you know a single lady that's looking for a lucky man,
yeah.
have them get a hold of us, because Greg's looking to go out on a date.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you, folks.
Thank you.